some stuff I need to get off my chest. They asked me how it was in the war.
What up, soldiers? Texas Grown 409, aka the Iraq Veteran Gamer, bringing you another installment of War Stories. This installment, I'm going to be talking about what my mission was while I was in Iraq. I deployed the beginning of September 2006, and I came back to America at the end of December 2007. So I was over there for a total of 15 months. I was at 88 Mike, which is a truck driver, but for 3/4 of the deployment I was not driving. It wasn't until 8 months in until I really started going out on missions. So since we weren't doing our job, our mission was to run tower guards, which is fob security. And what tower guard is, it's pretty much like a hunting stand. It's a tower that's 15 feet in the air, and it's about 6 feet by 6 feet, and you have 2 soldiers on guard 24 hours a day. When we first took over towers, we did 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 8 hours off. And after about a week and a half, I got sick. Like, I just couldn't handle that. Never really ate, didn't have time to sleep. We had to get ready for guard 30 minutes prior to our shift, so they can give us intel about any vehicles to look out for, any planned attacks that we had intel on, you know, stuff like that. We eventually went to 4 hours on, 8 hours off, which was the best cycle because you had 2 shifts the same time every day. My shift was 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Then we eventually went to 6 on, 12 off. And that was cool at first because of the amount of downtime we had, but eventually after about a week your body didn't know when to sleep, so that eventually stopped working and we went back to 4 on, 8 off. We were scheduled for a year deployment, and then once we were on that downfall to have less than 6 months left, I think we had like 5 months left, George Bush declared he was doing a troop surge and sending 30 to 50,000 more troops over, and he was extending everybody's deployment to 15 months. And that was a motivation killer. So you think you're on your downfall, and then you get 3 more months added to your deployment, so it bumped your deployment from having 5 months left to having 8 months left. So once the troop surge happened in the spring of 2007, our scouts, which are pretty much like infantrymen, they started living out on COPs, which are combat outposts. So that's when we started doing our actual job, on doing missions, going outside the wire, driving Humvees, doing convoy security, bringing out supplies, food, water, fuel. I was one of the few who would drive the fuel truck. You know, I didn't give a fuck. I wanted off that boring ass tower. That's the only reason I started going out on missions. Because once you sit on a tower for 9 hours every day, well, about 8 to 8.5 hours a day, wearing 50 pounds of gear, and just had a testy pop. How did that happen? I'm a grown ass man. My testes shouldn't be popping. Once you're sitting on a tower for that long, you get pretty fucking bored. So to add some excitement to your life, you're like, fuck it, I'll go put myself in danger. Once the scouts started living on combat outposts, we started doing a lot of missions. We would do barrier missions, which we would pretty much bring out concrete barriers and block off markets, stop people from blowing them up, like vehicle-borne IEDs, which are car bombs. And we would do those operations at night, and those barrier missions would be about anywhere from 2 to 4 days, sometimes longer. Like, we had one barrier mission which was 30 days, and if we went on barrier mission, we'd stay at the combat outposts. One of our combat outposts was right across the street from Sadr City. If you don't know what Sadr City is, Google it. There's a shitload of motherfuckers there. US forces were banned from going in there because it was so dangerous. But once the troop surge happened, we were allowed in there. And going outside the wire, the first 5 to 10 minutes leaving the wire, and the last 5 to 10 minutes coming back to the base, I was always the most scared. Every bump we'd hit, I'd jump because I would wonder, okay, was that a bomb about to go off? And with every mission that we never got blown up, my anticipation to get blown up always got worse. The #1 killer over there is roadside bombs, so I figured, hey, we'll be next. We actually had one roadside bomb go off on our lead truck, but it was a dud, so they're lucky. And we had one incident where convoy commander came over the radio and asked our lead vehicle, hey, which route do you want to take? Do you want to go the back way into this cop, or do you want to go down and take a right? As soon as we're pulling up to the cop, boom! And we're like, damn, somebody just got blown up. And that probably would have been us, because that was the, if we would have went up and took the right, it would have been us probably, because that's exactly where it blew up. I actually drove one of our majors to what we call the DAC call meeting every Thursday, on top of the 2 resupply missions every week. And the DAC call meetings pretty much where the Iraqis meet up and they discuss things that are working, things that are not working. And honestly, shit ain't working over there. They would come out of the DAC call meeting fucking throwing rocks at people and shit, like arguing with each other, throwing rocks at each other. Hey, rocks beat bullets though. A lot of our scouts hated us, a lot of the higher ups. And what they would do, I swear to God, they would do this shit on purpose. We'd go to their cop, and then we end up leaving, and then they call us on the radio telling us we need to come back and pick up some soldiers, because we were pretty much like their fucking taxi service over there. And I think it's because they wanted us to get blown up, because we never got blown up over there. We had a couple close calls, but we never got blown up over there. Somebody was looking above us or something. We're just lucky. We did have one sniper attack happen. I'll explain that story in the future. But other than that, I seen more combat on the FOB than I did outside the wire. So that was pretty much my deployment, you know, summed up mission wise. But I have a lot of stories to tell you. I had funny stories that would happen on guard. Back to tower guard, we had 3 towers that overlooked our main gate, which was a bridge, a 75-foot bridge that led to our main gate. So our main job was to keep any local nationals, Iraqi police, Iraqi army from crossing that bridge unless we were notified. If we were not notified, we'd shoot at them. And that was the only excitement we really have on tower guard besides mortars. I think I shot the second amount of most of vehicles. My buddy Hostetler shot the most amount. They put me on the fucking tower that had to react first all the fucking time. I wanted to be on that kill tower so I could fucking kill somebody. Nah, I'm kidding. I did not kill anybody. I'm glad I didn't kill anybody. I don't think I could live with that, knowing I took another man's life. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this installment. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads this week. I'm sorry this episode's late, but I was involved in the accident and I'm pretty much in recovery mode. But once I'm 100% healed up, which should be in the next week, expect a lot of content from me. Thanks for the support. Give this a thumbs up if you like this series. And I'm about to hit 1.6K, so I appreciate all the support, like I said. Anyways, Texas Grown 409, aka the Iraq Veteran Gamer, is out. Peace, bitches!